Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my September 2019 horoscope report for you. I'm going to give you the top 3 must-knows for your sign, including details like looking at the actual charts and seeing what fields of experience these aspects in the sky are going to drill down for your specific sign and what that looks like and how you can best use the energies. I offer so many free resources. Most of the things that I do are free. So you definitely want to tap into all of the things that I am offering to you. Besides these monthly videos that I offer always a month early, you can also go to cozybysweetstarlight.com to get written horoscopes by me and all kinds of other astrology and other blogs. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com to see all of my astrology blogs plus inspirational blogs and other things there. You can sign up for my free email newsletter where you get a written write-up of the month to come a month early, plus my 28-day virtual coaching program for free at anniehelpsyou.com. So definitely make sure you're tapping into all of the things I am working hard every month to offer you. Now I'm going to go into the details of what your sign has to look forward to in September 2019. Hello Libra friends, welcome to my September 2019 astrology report for you. I have so many details that I'm going to share with you. This is a very astrologically busy month. In August we had about 14 noteworthy aspects. In September we have double that. So I'm going to share resources with you as to how you can find out about all of those aspects, and I am going to highlight top 3 here and tell you where you can go to see more about all of the rest of the details. Also, towards the end of the month, as the planets start moving into Libra, this is going to very much showcase the Libra chart. So the earlier part of the month doesn't have as much of a tie-in to your particular chart, but it is going to affect you in a lot of ways, and I will show you how. But as the planets start moving into Libra, not only do we have your birthdays, which is very exciting, so happy birthday if you're going to have that happen this month, but also we have planets moving into air or moving through air and fire and making notable aspects there that are going to bring your chart alive as it, towards the end of the month and as we get into October. So I'm going to go into lots of details. I'm going to show you the charts so that you can see for yourselves what areas of life are going to be aspected for you and where you can expect the things that we're going to talk about to show up in your life. Okay, I'm going to go over lots of details to help you understand how the month will likely roll out energetically for you all. Many things I talk about will be for all early, middle, and late degree Libra placements, but there are going to be places where we differentiate out. And so let's see where you're at. Early Libras are basically our September born, or 0 to 9 degrees. Middle, October 1st through 10th, or 10 to 19 degrees. And late, October 11th through the rest of the sign, or 20 to 29 degrees. And if your moon is in Libra or your rising is Libra, then this report is for you equally as for the sun placements, because the sun, the moon, and the rising are all pieces of our, like the charts for the sun chart, the moon chart, the rising chart, are all pieces of the bigger astrological picture for the individual. So the top 3 things that I think are very important for Libras to know are, just going to summarize them really quick and then we're going to go into lots of details. Okay, so the first is about the sun coming to cross over your Libra placement. All right, that is birthdays for some of you. That is the sun crossing over your moon or rising sign for others. The second is that there are lots of aspects in Virgo. So we're going to look at what that means, what areas of life are going to be highlighted for Libra placements. And then the third is that once the sun and the other personal planets start moving into Libra, at the end of the month, there's going to be a lot of noteworthy connections with your particular Libra placement. So that's going to be of special note for you, and that includes the new moon in Libra, which is a magical time, and it does actually coincide with a beautiful aspect on that day, making it a special, extra special day for Libras. Okay. I'm going to use the early degree chart to talk about some things that are true for all Libra placements. So we're just going to cross that out here and know that for these specific sets, it's not divided into early, middle, and late. And when I get to where it is, I will clearly differentiate that out. So what I want to talk about first is the sun's movement. It takes the sun 365 days to come around its full circle. This thing here is like a running track through the sky. That's what I always call it. And all these planets are like different people going around the running track. And so the moon is like the athlete who runs really fast and gets around in 27 or so days, almost 28 days. And then, you know, Pluto is the old guy who had a hip replacement and it takes him 240 years to go around the track, and then everybody else in between. And so the chart is a snapshot of where all these exercisers are at on the running track in the sky. When we're looking at horoscopes, you know, so basically like these outer planets, the ones that take forever to move around, they're in one place for a long time. But for monthly horoscopes, we pay the most attention to the personal planets, the ones closest to us, the sun, the moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus. They move faster, and every month they're in a different spot, or a notably different spot than they were the month before. So we track to see what houses. These houses are fields of experience we have as humans, and every human has these experiences. Even if you have a chart with an empty house, you still have those experiences. So the houses are like the location of the party or gathering. I always think of it when all these planets get together in one place that it's like a convention or a party or a gathering of some sort. So the planets each have personalities, and the personality of each planet is like the personality of each person at the gathering. And then the mood that they're in, or the mood of the gathering, is the sign. And then the location, the house, is where they're having the party. All right, so we're going to look at where this meeting is taking place. In general, for most of the month, the mood is in Virgo. So that's detail-oriented. That's, you know, it could be critical, but it could be critical in a positive way, you know, with analysis and really just getting down into the specifics of things. It could be focused on service, mundane things like, you know, basic things you have to do every day, just getting stuff done, organization and systems and things like that. So this is a productive meeting that they're having, where they're going to, you know, get some things done. That's really what this gathering is about. And they're going to ground some things into reality. They're going to take the information, take the potentials, and just bring them into the tangible form. So that's what's going on. Now, at the time of year when the sun is going to get to this crossover point is going to either be, it's going to be your Libra placement. So your sun will be on this line. If you have Libra rising, your rising will be on this line. If you have Libra moon, your moon will be on this line. This is the point at which, when the sun gets there, it's crossing over your placement. And that's going to happen anywhere from the end of September to the first 3 weeks of October. Each planet represents something, like it has a department of our experience. And the sun represents what we want. So birthday wishes, or anything having to do with the sun crossing over a point in our chart, has to do with our desires, our creativity, what makes us shine. So when the sun gets back to the same spot in the sky that it was at when you were born, a portal is opened for your desires, which is what birthday wishes are. So birthday wishes are astrological. It doesn't usually get credit for it. Astrology doesn't get credit for it, but they are astrologically based. That's where birthday wishes came from. So in the time before the sun crossing over that magical point, the planets crowd in this 12th house. So just to kind of illustrate here why I look at early, middle, and late degree placements, because for every degree you go up on that line where we place, you know, your placement, the planets shift. So you see for early degree placements, starting right at the beginning of the month, they're all in the 12th house. Whereas for middle degree placements, they're in the 11th house. They will be traveling here during this month, but they start out there. And the same thing for the late degree placements. So at the beginning of the month, this 11th house is very full. But for the early degrees, 12th house. And as the planets move into Libra, at the end of the month, they're going to be crossing over this line. When the planets crowd in the 12th house, they bring up unconscious fears. This is the unconscious mind. This is the place where we've neglected things, forgot things, things were swept under the rug, we're not aware of them. And people can get nervous and anxious. So if you get nervous and anxious before your birthday, a lot of people think that's because, well, you're getting older and you're looking at what you did or didn't do and evaluating and all of that. And part of that's true. But what's more true is that the planets crowd into your 12th house, and that makes you feel uncomfortable. And the reason this happens is purposeful, is to help you see the things you don't want so that you can use the energy of the sun crossing over your Libra placement to be more clear about what you do want. Okay, so that's what it's about. And then when that happens, the portal opens, and there is a portal that opens, whether it's your moon or your rising or your sun, for you to get more of what you want. Okay, so that's the first most important thing to know about this month. And of course, this information will carry over into the first 3 weeks of October as well. Definitely look for, if you search for Annie making wishes come true, then you'll find my video on the topic of how you use birthdays and other, sun crossing over your placement, astrological power periods to create things that you want. Basically, you have to write down your wishes, say them out loud, and feel them as if they've already come true. Okay, so happy birthday to those of you whose birthdays will come. And happy portal opening for the rest of you, moon and rising placements. And happy almost birthday for the rest of the placements, for whom that's relevant. Okay, so that was the first thing. The second thing to note this month for Libras is that all of these planets in Virgo are going to make sweet aspects to all these planets in Capricorn. All these planets in Virgo are going to oppose Neptune, and all these planets in Virgo are going to square Jupiter. So what does that mean for Libra placements? That's what we're going to talk about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down for early, middle, and late the houses or fields of experience or locations of the party or gathering or conference so that we can talk about that. But first I want to talk about the nature of the connection so that you can understand what we're applying to the houses. Okay, so when there is a trine, that's the most favorable aspect in all of astrology. These will be throughout most of the month. They are wonderful aspects that bring harmony, peace, coherence, and wonderful fulfillment, ease, and grace. And since they're in earth signs, there's a lot of productivity and accomplishment. They're opposing Neptune. Again, I'm using the early chart, but what I'm talking about is true for all placements. Oppositions make us feel like we're being pulled in two directions. And that can be a positive thing because, several, different areas of our lives are lighting up at the same time. And it's like, wow, this is going, and wow, this is going. And, that could be really cool. But it can definitely, be antagonistic. Something could be antagonizing something else, seem like it's working against something we're trying to do. And it can make you tired, like exhausted and overstimulated. So that's definitely likely this month because every planet here is going to come, we're talking more about these ones, are going to come and oppose this. And when Neptune is involved and it's in opposition, confusion and uncertainty and doubt can enter the picture. But, this is a kind of month that you kind of have to feel the fear and do it anyway. If you have the intuitive nudge, if you're clear, if you're ready, fear is going to come up from this 12th house transit, these 12th house transits, first of all. The second, and Neptune, which rules the 12th house, that's why they both have that effect. It gives you those inner things, those doubts, those uncertainties are going to come up. And sometimes the uncertainty will be very clearly within yourself, but sometimes it will come out from an outside source. And this can also be breaches in security, privacy, internet, or other. So you have to be extra careful at this time. And before this time, it would be good to, change passwords and just make sure you have all the extra checks on your accounts. Then the third thing that goes on is that all these planets are going to square Jupiter. Now, in August, why I was so whacked out with excitement and talk about happy surprises for everybody, was because these planets were over here in Leo, and they were making this beautiful aspect of trine to Jupiter. And Jupiter was recently direct, and it was an expansion frenzy, basically. But now that they're in Virgo, this is a time of checks and balances. It's a reality check. It's a time to see if you've overcommitted or overextended, or if the things that you've taken on are sustainable. And it's a time to go down into more of the details or the systems of how you're going to carry through the opportunities that came from the eclipses or that came from the Jupiter transits prior, and that comes from, that are coming from Jupiter being direct. So it's definitely a time to get your ducks in a row and get your systems together, get a plan and get a strategy. Now let's look at the fields of experience, or the areas where these gatherings are going to take place. Okay, so I'm going to make a grid. I'm going to show you in the chart for those of you who like to learn, but then I'll make a grid and I'll outline these houses and I'll talk about what goes on in those houses so you can see what areas of life will be accentuated for you. So the early degree placements, you're going to have, you can't see this here, but a lot of these planets will be moving, here in the month, especially towards the end of the month. So, but really we're talking about these aspects. So that was the main topic, but we'll just go ahead and throw this house in there because I know that this area is going to be accentuated for you in general, even if it's from different transits than we're talking about right now. So 12th and 1st, 4th, and then Jupiter's in the 3rd for early. Okay, so middle degree, you have the 11th, but these are moving here, so the 12th also, 3rd and 4th, both because they're here and then Jupiter's here. The 2nd also because Jupiter's on the line here, and then Neptune's here. So the 6th, we didn't look at that for early. 6th is also happening there for you all. And then late degree placements, you've got, these are really in the 11th, and then this is in the 5th to Neptune, and then these pretty much the 3rd, although you might get some 4th, and then you have the 2nd also. Okay, so you can see a very busy month, and gosh, the middle degree placements, you'll have a lot of things going on. So middle and late degree placements, this is the money house. Money, so blessings, overstimulation, challenges, oppositions, expansion, but having to work hard, but then having a good chance for good financial material outcomes. So middle and late especially have that accentuated. Early, middle, and late have the 3rd house. So this has to do with devices, communication of any kind, writing projects. This can have to do with transportation, vehicles of any kind. And this is a really great month overall if you have to get new vehicles or new devices, because it's one of the few months where we have every personal planet going direct. And that definitely is very important because 2020 is a year of personal planet retrogrades. So it's just September and January where the whole month is clear of personal planet retrogrades or shadow periods. And there are other pieces which I will walk you through. And actually, if you watch my video called September 2019 Must-Knows for All Signs, I give you a nice grid and timeline about the retrograde energies and where between September and the end of December, you can push your new things through. The retrogrades are great for a lot of things, and I'll definitely be talking about that over the next year and a half almost. But it's not as good for launches and clarity and certainty and making solid plans. So this month, if you need some new things and the energy seems to be flowing well and it's not a hassle or a struggle, it could be a good time to lock those things in. The early and middle degree placements, you have home and family, real estate, and home-based business things accentuated. So opportunities there, challenges, things that you have to work for the gold. You have to work to get to the gold, basically. Middle and late, you've got the 5th. Oh, I didn't mention it earlier, but Neptune is kind of on the line there for you middle degree placements. So I added it in there for you. So things involving romance, this is for middle and late, romance and children and creative projects and fun and hobbies and, anything that puts you out where people are looking at you, where you're in front of people. The early and middle have the 6th house, and this can be a work house, so employment, self-employment, workspace things, pets. So, anything positive or challenging can come up in this space because so many different things are aspected here. But there's a chance for magic and mischief for all of these houses that we're talking about. Okay, so then there's a party in the 11th for the middle and late. And this has to do with your tribe or, so good networking opportunities, great launching opportunities. So that's actually true for early, middle, and late for different reasons. But if you have to do, like I said, your launches and anything internet-based or technology or patents, things like that could be great at this time. Large organizations, humanitarian efforts, finding your group of people, community-based projects are also in there. So magic and mischief in those areas. And then for the early and middle, as we talked about, that crowding of the 12th house, the subconscious mind. So anxiety, fear, I call it the Harry Potter house, where we basically realize that our fears that seem to be outside of us are inside, and if we can quell them or heal them internally, then we can create more flawlessly and easily and gracefully in our, I don't want to say flawlessly because it's not good or bad, it's just kind of an exact creation. We have something inside and it projects out in this holographic reality, but it can be more coherent once we heal the things that are in this 12th house. And also you can find hidden gems, things in hiding, people could be working for your good. People could be, thinking about you. There could be a buzz about you. Things like that. The last need to know for Libra this month is, as we talked about before, these planets that are in Virgo, they're going to be going in Libra. And when they do, they're going to be making, just in the last week or so of the month, so like starting September 22nd, these planets are going to come and make all kinds of aspects. They're going to oppose Chiron. They're going to do stuff here, nice aspects with Jupiter, and other things, So there's going to be a lot of clashes and a lot of sweet aspects. So basically, these same planets that came and trined this stellium here, stellium means several planets, a group of them, are going to come into Libra and then square them. So this is going to be challenging, and it's going to test some things that came in. It's going to, likely carry some stressors with it, okay? So Chiron oppositions usually make people feel like a victim. And so, and this is in the Libra Aries polarity. And this has to do with me versus we. So your me, we sectors are going to be very majorly aspected. Issues with codependency may come up in a huge way. I think that many humans have a form of codependency, even though the standard definition was more limited. I call codependency a boundary disease, where basically you have a difficult time holding healthy boundaries, establishing and holding healthy boundaries. So boundary infringements, boundary issues, feeling violated, but then getting mad at yourself because maybe you were the one that were letting this go on, so a lot of conflicts, with other people. But those same conflicts, you can transcend them and find solutions. So anything with an opposition can come as a stressor, but it can also create this magical transcendence above the whole problem. Like I always call it having a lot of balls in the air and they're all staying up and you're like, whoa, so you could hit a beautiful stride in your balance between me and we. Sometimes that has to come from a conflict in order to get there, or hard work, or something that you break through within yourself. But there's a really great chance at overcoming these issues and getting to the gold at the end of those. Now, to leave off with some sweetness, Mercury on September 24th and then Venus on September 28th is going to make beautiful aspects with Jupiter. And Venus rules love, beauty, and money. So sweet things in love, beauty, and money, with expansion and forward movement and hopefulness and optimism. I especially like this September 28th because that's the new moon in Libra. Every year we have our special time with the new moon in our sign. Usually there's just one. And this is at 5 degrees. So all Libras will be blessed and smooched by this this beautiful new moon, especially as it has Venus and Jupiter happening at the same time. If you need a date to do something important, launch something, I love this time. And especially early degrees, so from 0 to 10 degree placements, you're going to get, and the closer to 5 you are, even more so, 5 degrees. So basically these are the September born Libras. You get this sweet boost of awesomeness that's in closer proximity to your placements. Now, if you have other Libra placements that are early degrees, those will get kissed by this new moon. And this is a new opening in partnership, a new opening in balance, a new, important person coming in your life or stepping into another chapter. So overall, this is going to be a very busy month, a very complicated month astrologically. Some challenges to get through, but some sweetness, like I'm calling it, mischief and magic, really, in a pretty nice balance. So if you love details like these, I have so many more places that you can get resources for this month and in general astrology. So definitely listen to my video, September 2019 Must-Knows for All Signs. That's going to give you lots more details about how these aspects can show up and how you can best use them. I have written horoscopes that are usually talking about things different than the videos for each month. So you can see those at cozybysweetstarlight.com. There are also astrology and other blogs there at cozybysweetstarlight.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com to see my massive amount of astrology blogs to help you with transits that are occurring now, and other goodies on my site. You can sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com, which will get you a write-up about the general aspects with all of them listed so that you have them for your planning purposes, always a month early. So you can do that at anniehelpsyou.com. Plus you get my free 28-day coaching program called Shine when you sign up for my free email newsletter. So I also have astrology education. So all the things I just listed are all free, and I do those for you every month. But I also have some even more in-depth astrology education options at anniehelpsyou.com that you can check out. I would love for you to learn with me. Definitely check out my book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days, an Amazon bestseller, and a wonderful companion for my fellow spiritual seekers. So you can see that on Amazon or at radicalprayerbook.com. And you can check out my husband's site for even more resources that he offers, which is iamhelios.com. So he's B.R. Newman at iamhelios.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.